Hi, friends. Welcome to Creating Things Together. This is a podcast with me, James, and her, Christina.
Hi.
We are people who prioritize creativity and traveling, and we talk about that on this podcast. This podcast has new episodes on YouTube and wherever podcasts are every Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And
these are true statements, James. You're not even lying to the people.
I'm being honest because you know what? If you're honest, you get good things in life.
Oh, is that like a quote or something?
No, yeah, it's a quote from me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So tweet that out.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about a particular topic that I find to be quite interesting.
This is the topic that you could either ruin your life or get like amazing things done.
Yes.
That's basically the gist. So if you stop listening...
High risk tolerance is what this entire podcast episode is about.
Yeah. So buckle up, kids. Beep, 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 beep. Come on the magic school bus.
I found an article by the great Seth Godin. You know who Seth Godin is, right, Christina?
Yeah. You remember? Okay.
Bald man, yellow glasses.
He looks like Diglett from Pokemon.
He does. He has a very distinct look.
Is that offensive? Remember there was that one baby that looked like Seth Godin?
He actually really doesn't look like Diglett too terribly much because I don't think Diglett had glasses.
No, but the fact that it's just a bald shape.
Yeah. He looks like an exclamation. He looks like an I to me. Like if you took an exclamation point and flipped it upside down, the head and the thing, or like
the letter I?
He looks like the letter I.
Okay.
With glasses.
Cool.
So I found this article and I just skimmed over it and it seemed interesting. It may have very little to do with what we're talking about today, but we're going to hope for the best.
Glad to see you prepared for this.
Yeah, well, the good thing is his articles are short and we don't really like to read.
Oh my gosh. So before you get into the article, I've never read a book in my entire life. Like a whole book. I mean, maybe Cat in the Hat or something ridiculous like that. But I've never actually, you're out of the shot. Watch the corners. I've never read a book all the way through. I did really well in school, but...
You never read a book all the way through?
I never read a book all the way through. Thanks, James.
If I read a book all the way through, it's because I had to for school. And ironically, there would be parts where I would actually be really interested in the story, but it's just such a mental effort.
Even when I had to, I didn't read a book all the way through. But the trick is, kids, take good notes in class and be really active in discussion so your teacher doesn't suspect that you're a slacker.
And don't smoke crack.
Exactly. But last August, we started watching the Harry Potter series and
you've fallen in love.
We're 10 years late, but we get the hype.
This is the only series of movies that she gets
so lit
intense and like political and thoughtful about.
Yeah,
which is funny to me.
It's
because that's normally me.
This is like, I wonder if this is how people feel all the time when they think. So we stared listening. We were
Is this
on
what all the hype is about?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be an intellectual.
We started
new world.
We listened to the book on Audible because I'm not about to read nothing. I don't care how much I love Harry Potter. Our friends were like, you have to read it. It's so good. And I was like, you guys don't understand who I am. I will fall asleep within the first chapter.
Well, for more clarity, we are listening to the book.
We were listening to it.
On the way back from our most recent trip to St. George, Utah, we had a 4-hour trip.
Yeah, and we listened halfway through the book.
And I would say more like a third.
Probably a third.
We haven't even made it to Hogwarts yet.
Yeah, we haven't made it to Hogwarts.
Okay, so we were listening to our normal audio assortment of podcasts and music, and we were like, man, this is really boring, and I just want to go on a journey.
Yeah, so we went to a journey to freaking...
We got our Audible trial then.
Yeah.
This is not a sponsor, by the way.
Oh, no, it's not.
This is an
but
organic
Audible,
moment.
if you want to hit us up, because I don't like to read.
Moment with Christina and James.
Oh, an organic moment.
Yeah. We got the trial and then we just decided we're going to listen to the book, and it was amazing. It flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
Yeah.
I remember when they would hint at a certain character, like Professor McGonagall I was like, it's McGonagall! And I think Cooper, stay out. Cooper's not allowed in while we're recording the podcast. Cooper looks like Dobby. Oh my gosh. Can we just talk about Harry Potter this episode? Like, I just get so excited. Man. And it's just like, oh, it's Dumbledore. Yeah. It's Dumbledore. Yeah. He's coming. Gosh. I get the hype. I made fun of my sister like so much. She's older than me, and I was like, you're such a nerd. But I get it. I texted her when I started understanding the Harry Potter thing, and I was like, look, I apologize for everything that I said in the past. I get the hype because it's so good.
And it was fun to listen to the descriptions of the characters through J.K. Rowling's words.
Yeah, well, it's a man.
No, I mean, she wasn't narrating it. Thank God. Probably would not be nearly as interesting. It was a man with a lovely English accent.
Dudley was a piggy little fellow.
He killed Hagrid's voice.
Like, yeah, he did. I don't like the voice that he did for Malfoy. I get it. He's supposed to sound pretentious, but it's like.
But see, my question is, was that a truer representation of what J.K. Rowling wanted Malfoy to sound like? Because she mentioned in an interview that Hermione is way less nerdy than she's supposed to be represented than who she was in the books and who she was in her mind.
We haven't even met Hermione yet in the book.
So anyway, he did such a fantastic job voicing all the characters. But I think what I love the most about it, what's so fun to me, is just listening to the colorful
verbiage. I think the English have a very interesting way to phrase things anyway. There's a
lot of humor in the book too.
Yeah, it's just I have
humor.
I have a very English sense of humor. I'm half English, so it makes sense. I speak whole English. Anyway, read your article. I'm just like,
if you're going on a lot of long trips, Audible is really a whole new world. Or whatever service. I'm trying to convince you it's not a sponsor, because everybody uses these things as sponsors. Yeah. Use whatever book reading service is available for you.
Guys, nobody's sponsoring us right now. Everything is authentic. Just wait until we get to sell out. Whew.
The 2 Risk Mistakes by Seth Godin.
British accent, please.
No.
This is the article, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do a British accent. Okay. This is Seth Godin. He's an American hero. Risk mistake number 1. Risk means failure. There's a dog barking. This worldview equates any risk, no matter how slim, with a certainty. If the chances of hurting yourself skydiving are 1%, it's easy to ignore the 99% likelihood that it will go beautifully. If you carry this worldview around, you're not going to take many risks, because your fundamental misunderstanding is that whatever is uncertain is bad.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Uncertain is bad. So I guess the flip-flop of that is that if it's uncertain, perhaps there's goodness to be found.
Yeah, but you don't know that. It could be bad.
It could be bad, but
it could be good.
With a risky situation comes the possibility of great things.
Word.
That one could not necessarily come across without taking risks.
Yeah, which is what we've experienced. I'm so excited to get into the actual topic. So finish reading this so I can
Risk mistake number 2. Low risk events don't happen. This is the stock investor who freaks out when the market doesn't go up the way he and everyone else expected it to. The reason that some investments offer higher returns is that they're not guaranteed to work. Implicit in that high return, then, is the clear warning that sometimes you won't get what you're hoping for. So, like, basically, literally what I was just saying in paragraph form.
You didn't even know that was coming, did you? Are you a savant?
Me and Seth have like a thing.
Sethy boy?
I'm not distinguishing between optimism and pessimism. The optimist is well aware of risks, but deep down, she believes that things are going to get better. The risk-blind individual, though, is willfully or perhaps ignorantly unaware of what risk actually is. Most of the things that we do have 2 possible outcomes. They might work or they might not. Being able to live with the possibility of either is essential if we're going to move forward.
So,
what do you think about that?
With that said, with all of that knowledge that we just dropped onto your brain sickles, let's go back in time. Do you want to go back in time, James? Thank you. That was really spot on. Yeah. So a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, we were in a very interesting point in life where we got married, we moved to a different town. I got a big girl job, hated my freaking life. I was freaking like, it was intense. I was working 60-hour weeks. It was insane. So after I quit that job and we ran out of money, because 60-hour weeks does pay really well, but we ran out of money. And
it shortens your life.
It does shorten your life. We moved back to James's hometown and actually moved into his parents' house, which was a very interesting experience. Nothing against your parents, but I'm not trying to live with them again.
I mean, being a husband and wife living in a parent's house is always going to be an interesting experience.
Yeah, all of our belongings lived in a room.
Luckily, my family's not insane.
Yeah, they're not.
That would have been very hectic.
They're not too bad. They're okay.
No, they're fun.
They're fun, yeah. I have so many stories to tell about your family, but so all of everything that we owned went from a 1-bedroom apartment to a 1-bedroom. Cooper lived with us. It was lucky that Cooper was actually allowed to sleep inside. We had to hustle James's dad into letting Cooper stay inside. And we actually had to, remember we used to put the what's it called? The noise machine. We put the noise machine in the bedroom so Cooper didn't hear anything and bark at night.
Yeah.
So that was a very challenging point in our life. I was cleaning houses, and at that point we kind of went, okay, this town is not going to do it for us, not with the goals that we have. And we considered moving to New York City because there's a massive creator community there, or Salt Lake City because we already had friends here. There is a creator community here, and adventure. Why not? Mm-hmm. We had probably $2,000.
And it's cheaper.
And it's cheaper than New York City, a lot cheaper. We had like $2,000 to our name, and we were like, let's move across the country.
And this was after we had already
spent all of our money.
Begun our adulthood. Like that was our first trip to live in Greenville, was us beginning our adulthood. Mm-hmm. We weren't supposed to come back home. Mm-mm. We were
being adults.
We were supposed to start there and then move up and do everything that we're, doing now. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how the heck. You all
right, James? I think he just had a seizure.
How to make money.
Yeah, it was so hard to figure that out.
That was the entire first part, was how to make money, but not just how to make money, because making money is
easy to do once you get a job.
Pretty easy in general to do. It's making money and also doing it in a way that doesn't make you want to kill yourself.
Right.
So that balance was, we could not find a way out of that at that time. So we finally got absolutely sick of Greenville, and then we're just like, we just need to kind of break off and start over. Yeah. And so that whole experience brought us down backwards in terms of money to only having $2,000.
Yeah. We almost,
which is more than a lot of people have. So that's great.
Yeah. But it was
not
still
where we wanted to be.
It was still pretty nerve wracking. And I once I get an idea in my head, and it was probably my idea to move across the country, wasn't it? I think it was,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we both fiddled with it, and we were both in constant conversation, but I think you were the one that really took it seriously.
Yeah. So I went on Google Maps, and I knew the area that we wanted to live in, and I Googled, basically, I looked at shopping plazas, and I just looked through them. I'm like, okay, I don't want to work at a department store. Oh, a bank. I could do that. I math real good. Mm-hmm. And I applied for a job. I ended up getting an interview. I researched that branch and found the manager. And I found his Instagram profile. I found that he made YouTube videos. So heck yeah, I'm going to mention the fact when they say, so why do you want to move to Utah? I'm going to say, because I make YouTube videos and I'm really passionate about the internet. Mm-hmm. And I love the community that we've made. And I dude, I could interview for NASA and become an astronaut tomorrow.
You're a good interviewer. You're good at thinking on your feet when it comes to conversations like that.
I could BS my way through a Target. That didn't make any sense. I went from NASA to Target.
I will get from the front of Target to the back, and nobody's going to stop me.
So anyway, we moved across the country, and that on paper it was such a bad idea. And I don't know how we made that decision. I don't know how we made the right decision there. Like looking back, it's still a bad decision. If you have no money, don't move across the country. Well, but we got a job. Like we had some parameters. We knew, okay, one of us at least needs to get a job, and the other person needs, once that yes happens, we need to be able to pull the trigger, move in 2 weeks, and
then get another job.
And the other person needs to get a job within, 2 months. Yeah. That was like hard rules.
Right. And I think what really helped us deal with that risk well was that plan. Right. Not only because it actually made us functionally operate in a way that would create what we're trying to create and not make us live under a bridge, but also mentally dealing with the insaneness of taking that risk that you're scared of is much easier when you develop a plan. You develop something in your mind that you can hold on to as, okay, just take the next step, right?
Right.
That's why a plan is so important for our mental integrity. Whenever I get in a place where I feel like everything's really hectic and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, me stepping away, getting alone, specifically, for you it's a little bit different. For me,
I need to talk it out, but James is an introvert.
For me, getting alone in the quietest place imaginable, or the calmest place, and letting my mind just decompress. And when my mind decompresses, it's almost like it becomes more porous, and it allows the proper thoughts to come in to help me make a plan that I can go forth with in this stressful situation. Because you can't unstressful the situation. Right. It can be risky. It can be a scary situation, whatever. You can't undo that. Right. But you can inject into it an exciting plan to deal with that. Remember
when we moved here though, I think we had maybe a weekend kind of off, right? So we got to explore and visit our friends and whatever.
That was the only one.
That was the only weekend off for a long time. And then James, I think it was maybe the Monday that I started work, James Starbucks hopped, because James was a Starbucks barista, so that's a selling point for him. And he went and he shook maybe 6 hands all at once. You went to 6 Starbucks stores and was like, hey,
I was like Elastigirl. I stood in the middle of town and stretched my arms out to 6 different Starbucks.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew you had that talent.
Yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, I could imagine. You'd have to bend your bones and stuff. Anyway.
Luckily, they have a great medical system here in Utah.
Yeah. I think what's important, because we did have somewhat of a plan. We had a fairly good plan now that I speak it out. We knew our budget. We knew that
it was a very safe plan. I think we were equipped to do it well.
Yeah. It was
scary though.
One of the tough things was, when you get an apartment, you have to put first month's rent down, and then you have to do all of these things that are really expensive up front. So that took all of our money. And I knew, and I've never asked anyone for $1. I don't want to ask anybody for money. I've had family offer me money, and I just say, no, thank you. Now, if they mail it to me, then what am I going to do? But we didn't have any help. We didn't have any of our belongings.
How you get the resource is just as important as having the resource, I think.
Right. And we just hustled. We didn't have any chairs. The only thing that we had, gosh, it's fond memories. When we moved into the apartment, we had an air mattress, a pan, because it's cheaper to cook your own food than to buy your own food. So we had an air mattress, a pan, and Cooper's dog food.
And the question is, which one did we sleep on, which one did we cook on, and which one did we eat?
We ate Cooper.
We ate Cooper.
He looked at us like, oh, dear God. But that was humble beginnings.
One thing I was going to say, just very quickly to the point that we were just touching on, and the reason I say this is because when I say things, I remember to say them in the future. I heard this profound statement today about giving somebody money who doesn't know how to manage money. It's like pouring sand in their hand. It will just fall through their fingers and go away.
Yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
I think, yeah, for sure.
So the way that you get money, the way that you appreciate the money you get, and the way you manage your money once you get it,
dude,
is more important than having the money in the first place.
1,000%, yes. I think that we wouldn't be where we are right now if we were just, you're so annoying, if we were just handed a bunch of money. I think we would have, I got hit by a semi-truck. I got a bunch of money. And we knew the value of it. We knew the value of it, but we didn't really know the value of it. I think now, if we were handed, let's just say, $400,000.
That's a good point.
I think that we would know the value of it for sure, and we would be a bit more wise. But even now, 10 years, like if we were handed $400,000 right now versus 10 years from now, we would manage it 1,000 times better than we would right now. But
Right. The question is like, how much differently would we look at investing our money then, and the way that we would invest our money compared to now?
Yeah.
And how we maybe would have done it when we were 16 or so.
Right. You would just spend it all on coffee.
You were very smart getting a car, though.
Yeah.
That thing has served us well.
Yes. And when we moved here, we only had one car. So one of the things that we planned was, okay, where are we going to live? It has to be close to where I work, because I'm going to probably be working most of the hours. Because I value James's creativity over my creativity. I'd much rather you be creative and me work a day job than me, because I think you have the discipline and you're just way more creative than me. I just get all the opportunities and I give them to James.
Well, and also my skill set at that point
is not a lucrative one.
It led me to doing part-time jobs because I had already gotten part-time jobs at Starbucks.
Right. The bank.
I have a skill set that is very useful, and we're realizing that now, obviously. But
what my point
at that time, it was harder to get into that space. Whereas for you had a skill set that could quickly get you a nice full-time.
I could math real good.
In mathing.
Anyway, we just had to plan everything to the T. And my whole point in saying this is, yes, be very strategic, but take the risks, because none of this would have happened if we would have stayed in James's hometown. Shout out to the hometown that James was birthed in. But I think like I said in the beginning, it does not make sense that it worked the way it did, but the fact that we put ourselves in a position to do something that could make or break us, and then we're like, okay, well, moving back's not an option because we won't have any money to do that. We didn't have a safety net, so we had to execute. You had to get out. We only had a weekend of like fun.
I wonder how much that played into us actually succeeding. I think the fact that like we're 2,000 miles from home. Like we can't just get there and go, wow, we didn't quite get our ducks in a row there. Let's go back.
Yeah. I think something similar happened to us about 6 months ago. We started freelancing completely full-time, both of us, in the summer of 2018. James took the step first. I was still at the bank. The bank was the safety net. And then I cut ties with the bank. Still good homies with everybody there. But I don't work at that bank anymore. And I look back on last summer, and I think we spent a lot of money. I don't think I was as wise as I could have been, but you live and you learn. Value of money, whatever. But
this is like our money goes up and down. So it's like when we get up,
we're like, let's buy everything.
Oh my gosh, date night, woo!
Yeah,
and it's funny how that shifts, that dynamic.
But now, because we had that experience of 6 months ago of almost running out of money again, we can be even more wise with our money and more strategic with it.
But the problem with money for us has always been income. It's always been trying to make the income go up. I think
Isn't that everybody's problem with money, though?
Well, no, I think a lot of people, what they do is they spend way too much beyond their means in general. And they also don't bring up their income, but it's more about their lack of ability to manage the money. I think for us, the emphasis is what's in the forefront for us is making the income go up.
Yeah.
We're good at managing. You're good at, you do a fantastic job at managing our money.
But from what I'm saying is I have to make mistakes in order to be a better manager of our money.
Sure.
And I think last summer I made a lot of mistakes personally because it's like, yo, I'm a full-time YouTuber now, bro. Let's travel. Let's do all these things. I took opportunities that were good opportunities.
We got 900 subbies.
Whoa. I took some opportunities that were good opportunities, but they costed me a lot of money. But it's like, it could pay off, and it just didn't pay off. So being able to weigh those pros and cons, I think, is very smart. But my point in saying that is, I feel like we learn these lessons all the time, and we get even better. But the risks that we take, obviously, they're starting to become greater. Definitely. We got a 2-bedroom apartment. That was a really big risk. And when we took it, we were in a position where, kind of like when we moved here, it's like, dude, we are running out of money, bro. Why are we getting this nice apartment? And it's just like, we have to just say yes and make it work. And it's such a romantic way to go about it, but I don't think everybody should do that, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that we're like special, but I think that we have the experience of being able, oh my gosh, Siri, stop listening to me. Get out of here.
Come on.
She's just like, I said experience.
She's so always listening.
What part
She's
of
so pretentiously always listening.
Yeah, weirdo. Anyway, weigh the pros and cons, have a detailed plan. Our plan when we moved here was, okay, we are making money. That's great. Now we need to diversify, and we need to go so hard on diversification. And I was telling James, I'm very, I say yes to a lot of things. And I think that a lot of people need to say no more. And I think for me, where I'm at personally, this needs to be the year of yes. Just to diversify, just to
You've
have
gotten us a lot of opportunities through yeses.
Yeah. And I just need to get a bucket list of people. Like, I just need to get, that sounded weird. I need to get a whole lot of people in my back pocket, say yes. Hey, do you need, and if I have to say no, like for example, yesterday, somebody needed me to design something. Guys, I'm not a designer. I mean,
but I might be.
But I can, and I can get by, but I should know my limits. And yesterday somebody needed something due in like 48 hours, and I knew, okay, I number one, don't have the time for it. So I quoted them a price that was super high that I knew they would say no to. And then I was very honest with them and say, okay, this is how much I think I'm worth for this project. But to be completely honest, I don't want to charge you that amount and you get subpar work, because I'm not experienced with traditional design. I don't know very much about bleeds. I could get by. Like,
integrity. I like it.
I think, like, if we had...
Cheers to integrity.
Yeah, bro. Ding. We break the glasses.
That's terrible. Like, hold on the bottom so we can have some resonance.
No, I don't want to...
Oh, God.
Let's just not do that anymore.
We need new glasses.
So if we were in a position where we really needed money, I think I would have charged a lower price and then just done the work to get the project done and get it designed well. And we're not in that place right now, thankfully. So I could say no to it, but I didn't say no. I said, look, I don't know if I'm a great fit, but I will find a good designer for you. I will help you guys find a designer that has the experience. And so that's kind of me saying yes to everything, but sometimes saying no. I say all of that to say right now is it just blows my mind that like this wouldn't have happened if we would have just stayed in our comfort zone. Like, do you ever think of that? Like, I want people to very strategically get out of their comfort zone, because if like your location in specific isn't working for you, a lot of times it's not your location, it's just you. But I think we came to the consensus of all of the opportunity is in this place. James and I right now are just chasing opportunity, and we're chasing opportunity while we build ourselves. And one day the opportunity will come to us and we will be equipped. We'll have the experience. We will know how to manage the money, because money needs to be managed, guys. Get over it. It's, yeah.
One of the things I will say is that if you're taking huge risks, like us getting the apartment or like us moving, it is sort of the flip-flop of the way that you think it works, where you think that when you level up in life is when you've done a certain amount of work, you get some sort of reward and you level up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like in video games, you practice a skill long enough. Like if it's like an RPG, you practice a skill long in a role-playing game.
Okay.
Is
that
do you
what
know
RPG
what MMO means?
I thought RPG was like guns and stuff.
It
Rounds
can
per
be,
gun.
It can be, but it's like a game where you remember RuneScape?
Yeah.
That's an RPG.
Where you're like the person.
Run around, you're a person, you run around, you have to level up all of your skills. Like in RuneScape, you have like 25, 30 skills or so.
Okay.
And you level all of them up through doing different things.
Okay.
So it's like a strategy game in that sense. So you think that you level up, like if you want to level up your mining skill, you go mine stuff for an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
You level up your fishing, you go fish some anchovies and shrimp and stuff.
Okay. We're still talking about RuneScape, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but RuneScape, but also life in general.
I liked to play Sonic Heroes.
Now, in that one, because I never played Sonic, in that one, was that the little side-scroller thing where you turn into a ball and you whoop, and then you shoot across the map?
He wasn't a side-scroller. He was a hedgehog, James.
I know, but it's a side-scroller, meaning that it... Sorry. Sorry, everyone. God, sorry.
Have you ever done a freaking podcast? Don't you know the first rule is not to, like, slam the mic down?
Stop destroying my confidence! Side-scroller means it goes like, it's two-dimensional and it goes past, like Mario, right?
Okay.
It's it scrolls from the side.
Okay.
So there's some Sonic the Hedgehog games where they're side-scrollers and there's some that are, I think, full 3D. Anyway, that's cool that you like that game. What I was going to say...
Such a jerk.
I'm
sure that game is very nice.
It meant a lot to you. Your hand...
by myself.
SNL. Look that up. How would they look that up?
Type in by myself,
or
probably,
what's her name?
Or Gilly. Her name is Gilly, and she's at it again. Knock knock. Who's there? It's Gilly. It's me.
She had very small hands. So in life, you anticipate that it's going to be like you do some work and then you level up, right?
Okay.
Now, what tends to actually happen is when you have you incrementally grow through the work.
Okay.
But when you actually have breakthroughs, as we've listed on our notes here.
Can you not knock your computer off the table, please?
When you actually have these tremendous, just absolutely tremendous moments, is when you push yourself way out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Really quickly and in a very intense way.
I just feel like this is really bad advice, though.
Like, for example, if you I think of people who go to like one of those Tony Robbins conferences.
Yeah.
And they can't get a breakthrough in life. Well, he said he points at them,
14-foot tall man,
makes them stand up, break up with their girlfriend, makes them face all of their issues in front of the entire crowd at once. This huge emotional experience. This big out of comfort zone experience.
I'm sorry.
That's where the leveling up and that's where the breakthrough comes.
Hold on.
From.
Stop right there. I just need to acknowledge that was a really bad Tony Robbins impression. Go ahead. I didn't want people thinking that like I was okay with that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to make my voice
like you're like deep. Rebuking yourself for such a bad impression.
I apologize. Go ahead with your...
It's hard to do his voice, especially if you're a woman.
James, drop the knowledge for me.
So the breakthroughs come when you make big decisions and big moments of emotional and
financial
opportunity,
security,
like moments of big shifting opportunity. Mm-hmm. With those are also very risky moments.
Yeah,
those are also moments that you would avoid if you didn't want to like get out of bed and change your life that day. Mm-hmm. A lot of times those moments come from you being very uncomfortable, which is something that made us move here, mm-hmm. right? When you get to you will be complacent in life until life makes you uncomfortable enough. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Wow.
I'm spitting straight Proverbs fire today, you know?
Are you okay? Because I feel like there's knowledge coming out of your mouth, and that's not normal.
It burns.
It burns. Do you have a stinging sensation?
So
you didn't really know what to go after the stinging sensation joke, did you?
These big STDs are very serious, by the way.
Gosh, James.
These big shifts in your life are where you actually have those level up breakthrough moments.
Yeah. I just cannot. I feel like
us moving to a new apartment is what made us level up into this new level of focus and productivity that we weren't in before, even though we felt like we were in a great place of focus and productivity before. Each time you take those huge steps, you adapt your actions to meet the new place that you've put yourself in.
Yeah.
And
isn't it interesting how the opportunities don't necessarily come when you're in that place of comfort? For example, when I quit the bank, I got so many opportunities. And it's like, I would ask myself...
It doesn't make any sense that it happened that way.
It doesn't make any sense. I would ask myself, like, dude, why couldn't this happen 6 months ago so I would have racked up my savings account? Why does this have to happen now? And I mean, I'm not
Thanks,
complaining.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah. Yeet. I don't know. I get stoked about it. And I wonder what that next thing is for us.
What's that, like,
it's
next
probably
really uncomfortable jump?
Yeah, it's probably going to be...
Probably going to move to Tokyo or something.
We would be closer to my brother.
We would.
It's probably going to be like not doing freelancing anymore. But I think we're
getting a job.
What? I think we're a bit a ways away from that. And I'm okay with that. I think right now is an interesting time for us because we're kind of refining everything that we do. We're refining our process. We're refining exercise. You see these muscles, guys? Hashtag
Whoa.
swole. You hear these muscles, guys? Anyway.
What do muscles sound like?
Do my muscles need WD-40, James?
They're like, as they squeeze, all the tendons like tense up, and I picture that sound being like, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. That's really offensive. That's like if your muscles are 90 years old. I'm a young 25
No, if your muscles are 90 years old,
it sounds like, no. It sounds like this. Just dust.
Powder comes out.
What the heck was I talking about?
I don't know.
You weren't listening? Dang it. Okay.
I don't.
Okay, on 3.
I just look at the wall behind.
Let's just take a break because I feel like we've been really talking about some deep stuff. On 3, let's say a number between 1 and 20. Ready? 1,
19.
2. James.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What part of
you said on the count of 3?
What part of on 3 don't you understand?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So you just threw a lot of numbers at once. This is why I never worked at the bank.
Okay, on 3, let's do a number between 1 and 35. Okay? 1, 2, 3. 17. You can't say the same number.
Close.
No, we're not
So
close.
close
Put
to
your
each
hands
other.
down. Okay, on 3, we say a color. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
19.
Gray. I hate you. I had a feeling you were going to do that. So, what the heck? I feel like we're giving people bad advice.
Well,
this is just advice from our own personal experience. I think it is a good idea, but I cannot. Let me finish that sentence. I think it is a good idea to take risks and take life-changing risks. Move across the country if you need to, but do plan. I cannot express how much you should plan. When we
calculate.
Yeah, when we drove here. And because I don't want people to think that we were just reckless and we just moved across the country. This was a very serious decision that we did.
Yeah.
We were going to move away from everything that we knew.
Right.
One of the things that we did for the road trip, my job was to keep costs as low as possible. So we got
which makes for just a fun road trip, just a party of a time.
We had a good time, James.
We had a great time, but it's like
that was okay.
Everything's in the cooler.
Yeah. So we bought a cooler. Actually, we didn't buy a cooler. We had a cooler and it broke. So James's dad gave us a cooler. That was like a really big deal. So we...
my throat just made the sound of like a lizard person. That was weird.
That's disgusting. We had a cooler, so all of our food was pretty much taken care of for breakfast and for lunch. For dinner, we would go out to eat because we would need a big meal for dinner to like last us.
But we did go out to eat.
Yeah, we went to Chipotle, but even when we did that, I had coupons. We didn't just go out to eat willy-nilly.
Yeah.
We like went out and I was like, okay, free guac for this. Let's get chips, and then the chips will be our snack while we're driving.
Right.
There was one time where we had cereal for breakfast because some of the hotels didn't have.
I do remember that. We were in a Walmart parking lot eating cereal.
That's one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
We I think the hotel that we were at didn't have a continental breakfast, and we had cereal for breakfast.
Yeah, we had a bowl full of cereal.
That was balling.
It was like sugary cereal too, wasn't it? No. I had we have O's. I thought I had the bran flake things.
No, I think we had O's. I know that I had O's.
I haven't had cereal in so long.
It's great.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Gluten has not been your friend lately.
I need to go get a good gluten-free cereal with healthy things in it.
$17 cereal. Just of
so
chia
it's just
seeds.
not circles of...
Just a bunch of chia seeds.
Chia seeds.
That sounds gross. It's like eating a bunch of sand. Anyway, we really budgeted really well. I have the note on my phone still. I keep it there because it's like mapped out every single stop, every single dog park that we were going to stop at because we had Cooper with us. And if you don't know Cooper, you should get to know him because he's a fantastic little animal. He's full of energy. Like he's unbelievable how much energy he has. When he's tired, he'll just keep running. I don't know what's wrong with him. I think there's a disconnect in his brain, but we needed to find places because Cooper was going to be in a car for 8 hours. So every 4 hours we would stop and just throw the ball with Cooper and he would just fetch. One of my favorite memories from that trip was driving through Kansas out of all places when we stopped off on that field. It was like a field of wind turbines and we just played with Cooper. We have pictures of it and I think...
Remember he got all the pokies in his foot?
That was so sad. He got pokies. I think people call them stickers or something.
Yeah, stickers.
They're called pokies though.
I always called them stickers growing up, but you converted me.
Yeah. So he would get pokies in his foot for some reason. There were a lot of pokies in the area.
I'm feeling nostalgic at this point.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, it's really good memories. And I think the benefit of kind of coming from that spot and having to like really grind and like work super, super hard to get to like your next step is in the middle of it really sucks. But looking back on it, those little things that kind of sucked about it were really fun, except for that motel that we stayed at in Denver. That one, there was a pill bottle and like a razor on the ground and I was like, get me out of here.
Yeah, we were like, hey, let's not come back to this one.
We drove across the country with gas included for about $500. So for gas, hotel, food, we did 5 days across the country, like, because we wanted to like have a good time. We're all about those vlogs. Well, actually, I'll link the playlist below because it's really it's really poorly color graded. So my apologies that everything is pink for some reason. I don't know what was going on there. But
all our memories are very pink. We think we have some sort of neurotransmitter problem.
Yeah.
But the medical system in Utah is great.
Stupid. Really plan every single big decision that you do. Plan it out so hard. Just get so hard with your plannings, bro.
I'll add 2 things to that if I can remember the second one by the time I finish the first one. One being, dang it, I just forgot the first one.
Oh.
It's like when you bring it up that you're going to forget it. That's when you forget it.
Okay, so I was talking about being strategic. It was...
Well, first off, I'll just say that he
forgot it again.
Well, okay, I'll say that it's very rewarding to put yourself in those positions that are so incredibly challenging, going through that season of change and trauma. That is a place that reminds us that perhaps our job is to learn how to weather the storms of life better. All the lives of alternate universes.
All of them.
Weather the storms of life better so that when you're in that position, you have a strong foundation to make even those moments be rewarding and fun, and so that you can look back at them fondly and not thinking of how horribly you treated the person you were with, or how stressed out you were when you didn't need to be, and everything actually worked out in the end.
Remember, that was like the first big thing that we did together that didn't like explode the first time we did it. James and I are notorious. Whenever we try something new, whenever we try to go on a new trip or something, it just, something goes wrong. That was the first time that like nothing really went wrong. That was really nice. I think that was the funnest thing that we've done so far. And then afterwards I went to Seattle and went to Vlogger Fair, hung out with some friends. But
so going through that, you want to focus on your character in the midst of those things.
Yeah.
Because just like planning, focusing on your character in the midst of the storms of life allows you to focus on not the circumstances, but the way you respond to those circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
That makes things easier. It makes things more fulfilling and rewarding. And it helps you create, it helps you actually inject better things into the world when you're in the midst of that, right?
I thought you were going to say the same thing that I was going to say, but you didn't, and that just really ruined our chemistry.
So for me, what I want to do in those situations with you is I want to come out the other end, and for you to have an experience with me that I was put together. I was taking care of us in the ways that I needed to, that I was emotionally stable, that all of these things where you can then be inspired from that,
right,
to be better yourself. So the way that you handle the situation, you can really make a situation have a better outcome by the way you handle it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so that's how you deal in the situation where things are the season of trial. The way that you plan for, this is the last thing I have to say, and then you can say whatever you want.
Good, because I've been wanting to say this one thing.
Okay.
Get to it, James.
The second thing, are you going to forget it? Because you can go ahead and say it if you're going to forget it.
Well, what's hard is when you're talking, I'm not listening because I'm trying to remember it.
Yeah, it's tough.
So can I say it really quick?
Go ahead.
One of the things that I like about these really deal breaker kind of decisions, the kind of things that you're such an idiot. Like, you should just not do that. If you're listening to this, James, every so often he framed the shot poorly, so he likes to lean outside of the shot.
The shot, great.
Yeah, except for the fact that I have way more space behind me. Anyway, what I was gonna say, I love you.
Okay.
That's nice. It's good to have gone through that fire, because now whenever we make any other decisions that are really, really big, you know what? We made it work out.
We did that thing where we drove across the country that one time.
Yeah. We moved across the country for opportunity and had no money, and we just thought it was a good decision. So, you know what? If we could get through that, we can get through almost anything.
There was
so far, knock on wood.
I forget who it was, but there was a guy who was trying some crazy thing he's a skateboarder, I think. He was trying some crazy thing on the mega ramp, and somebody asked him why. It's funny, I just remember what happened. I don't remember anything about the details. They asked him why he did it. And why, he had a sprained or broken ankle. I think it was probably...
While he did it?
Yeah, his ankle was in a bad way while he was going to do this trick. And they were saying why.
Did he wear a helmet?
And I think so. Because,
okay.
he was on mega ramp. You go way up in the air. So they asked him why.
Like 4 feet?
At least 7.
Okay.
They asked him why.
Okay.
And he said, because... For myself, because I know if I can overcome this with my ankle hanging off, I will remember this in the future when my next challenge comes.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing.
Wow, that's so
really
profound.
Amazing way to look at life. You can pull on that in so many different situations in life that are difficult, right?
Right.
Whenever you're going to do something that makes you scared, it's going to be the rest of the podcast. We're balancing our fingers upon one another. Whenever you're doing something that makes you really scared and something you might just, maybe you just would hope you would like if it just didn't happen in your life.
Right.
That mindset is a good way to deal with it, where I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to handle this well. I'm going to do the best I can.
I'm so inspired right now. Let's just move to Australia, where all the internet connection is bad.
Right. So the last thing I wanted to say was that when it comes to planning a trip like this, we were talking about, planning it well. Mm-hmm. Calculating is something that will help. One of the things that will keep people from beginning the process of doing something risky mm-hmm. is that they're daunted by the thought of even planning the thing. So what I would say is what is a good idea to make planning look like is to calculate as much as possible until all that's left is that's left is the thing that you can't control, right? There will be risk. Something might go wrong. Mm-hmm. And you want to get rid of all of the stuff in the way of getting to, okay, I've planned everything I can. There's this potential risk in front of me, mm-hmm. but I can't do anything about that. I've put myself in the absolute best position to deal with this season that's coming.
Yeah.
I've planned as much as possible, and what is left is the actual true risk mm-hmm. and the actual true potential.
You can go. Well, again. James.
And then you go.
What makes you think that that's a good idea?
Because I think it's hilarious.
To scream.
Then you go to battle. Then you wrestle with that risk and potential and try to come out on top and have a grand old time.
Yeah, battles. They're fun. I think that's profound. That was like the smartest thing you've ever said, James. Out of all...
I felt pretty good about some of the things I just said.
No, but that one wins.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have got a token. Here you go.
Oh my gosh. Chuck E. Cheese's.
Ooh. Is Chuck E. Cheese still a thing?
I remember when I went to Chuck E. Cheese that the playground felt huge, but then you go back and you're an adult and it's like 30 inches tall and there's like a...
You want to hear a story about Chuck E. Cheese?
It's like the size of this table.
So for those of you who don't know, James was and is my first boyfriend. Very nice. My mom was pretty strict, but I remember the last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese.
Remember we sat down at Zaxby's and read the Bible?
Oh my gosh. Stop it. So that was a stressful one.
That's such a like funny memory to me.
That's like a Hallmark moment. Hallmark television, no, Lifetime television for women.
She had a Bible and then
she had notes from,
and then leaning on the chair beside her she had Jesus on one side and a shotgun on the other.
It was so funny. She had notes from church, like on the pamphlet that you get from church. She wrote all the notes, so she obviously wasn't listening to the sermon. Anyway,
she had a mission.
She had to make
sure her girl was taken care of.
Yeah. So when the last time I went to Chuck E. Cheese, I ran into this kid that I knew from elementary school, and he was convinced that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh. And I remember telling James, like, hey, I just want to let you know.
Chuck E. Cheese romance.
I think that you're not my first boyfriend. And he was like, what do you mean you think? It's like, there's some kid that told me that I was his girlfriend, and I don't know. I was like, it was a kid that I knew, but I didn't see for like 3 years.
You know that South Carolina is a 2-party consent state, right?
No, this was in Florida.
So, Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, then yeah.
All
bets
weird...
are out the window.
Yeah, there are no rules in Florida.
If somebody says you're their romantic partner, you have no say in the matter.
Yeah.
Which is, we really need to reform our justice system.
Yeah, definitely. So profound wisdom. Mm-hmm. Take risks, be calculated about the risks that you take, weigh your pros and cons so hard. We almost moved to San Francisco this summer.
Yeah. And then we realized very quickly, let's try to avoid that a lot. Because it's the most expensive place to live?
It was the most expensive place
in America? Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't move to San Francisco, especially because we've never visited, but we were considering it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but you know what?
We just realized we probably would not be as happy there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like there are no, like next week we might move to San Francisco. Next summer we might be living in New York City. Honestly, we don't know what we're doing with our lives, and I wouldn't have it any other way. That's not true. I would rather know what I'm doing.
And last but not least, don't smoke crack. But if you do, it's okay because Utah has a great medical system.
I think that's a great place to leave it off.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. It was a very... Thank you, James. It was... Shut up. What was that song?
Yeah, it's elevator music. I only know it as elevator music.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's from YouTube.
Okay, so search that song.
I'm gonna have to find that because
you
I always do
my
that.
outro. We are out.
You started asking me questions. I was just singing a song.
Fam,
you could have kept going.
We are out here trying to be professional.
Screaming in your ear now.
And you're just talking like, guys. I apologize for everything you just listened to.
ASMR.
Okay, I'm sorry. That was way across the line. Yeah. Take risks. Be calculated. Do the things that make you happy and excited, even if you've got people telling you that's probably not a good decision. Mm-hmm. If you know, gosh, this seems like such bad advice, but trust yourself. Really trust yourself. What your first instinct is probably the right one. If you're going, gosh, I want to move across the country, but it's probably a bad idea. Maybe it's a bad idea.
Trust your gut, but also question your gut.
Mm-hmm.
But also get advice from others, but also don't listen to
others. We don't know what we're talking about. This is just our experience. Please don't sue us. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet subscribed and this is something that you're interested in, creativity, excuse me, I have to cough. If you're interested in creativity and interested in James and I rambling about smoking crack, subscribe, because I'd love to go on a journey with you guys.
Reviews are good too.
Oh yeah, they say that reviews are good. The podcast analytics, let's just get meta for a second. We've got some time. The podcast analytics dashboard is really weird. You don't actually know how many people are subscribed to you. Apple and all of the platforms, they don't release that information, which is odd. I don't know why. You just know how many people listen. But what we do know is people that leave reviews. And I actually want to read one. Let's just leave it off at the end with a good old thank you from somebody that has actually left a review. Somebody that's a homie. I thought it was James's mom, but it's not your mom. She said that it wasn't her. So I'm going to read it. Boy's mom, 9094. You guys are adorable. Thanks. I've learned so much from you guys. You keep making... Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I can't read. I've never read a whole book. Let me start over. You guys are adorable! ! I have learned so much from you guys. And
did she say in the...
Gosh, James. Let me start over.
Get it together, Christina.
Audible. You guys are adorable. I've learned so much from you guys, and you make me laugh! ! Keep the great content coming. Whoever the heck you are, thank you so much.
You're too kind.
I thought you were James's mom, but you're not James's mom. And I just want to say hi and thanks. And if you're listening to this right now, I love you so much. So if you guys leave a review, we'll read it at the end of a podcast. I think that'd be a fun tradition to keep.
I think that's good. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So
just like the water.
I need at least one person to leave a review so we have something to read tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Dang it, next week. Anyway, goodbye, guys.
Bye. Bye, everyone.